Hello guys, hope you're all doing well. Today we're taking a look at the PC beta for Black Ops 4. How does it play, does it run well, feel good on the mouse, and are the classic PC specific features that we love so dearly included in here? Well, let's take a look, shall we? I'll be testing this on my new system with the i9-7980XE in there. Thanks again to Intel for that, absolute beast. So we shouldn't be limited by hardware, and also of course recording at the same time as playing for a beautiful 60 FPS video and smooth gameplay experience. Now last weekend I covered the Black Ops 4 beta on the PlayStation 4, what was in the beta as well as my impressions on how the game played on console. That being said, of course, PS4 gameplay, and as you know my bread and butter is on PC, so I was really interested to see what the PC version of the game had to offer, and thanks to the second beta this weekend I've been playing it and can now let you guys know my thoughts. When it comes to the specialists in the game and the game modes, I went through all of that in my last video, so I'm not going to double down on that here. That being said, there is one new game mode in this beta that's worth pointing out that wasn't available last weekend, at least I didn't experience it, and that's called Heist. Now, one of the reasons that Heist is so interesting and definitely worth mentioning is because it seems to be inspired by a game mode from Battlefield Hardline. So in this new game mode in Black Ops 4, two teams of 5 players must locate a bag of cash and deliver it to an extraction point. But that's not all. Each team gets limited lives, and if you die, you don't actually fully die and respawn, but instead you get knocked out. A mechanic that I think has clearly come from Black Ops 4's Blackout Battle Royale game mode. On top of that, as if it wasn't enough, you don't get to use your normal loadouts either. You start with a pistol and then you earn money throughout the round, and then you can spend that on weapons, perks and gear. And this is something quite different for a COD game, and perhaps that level of creativeness is exactly what the game needed. In theory, you could save your money and spend it on perks or armor, or perhaps you could rather spend that money on a higher power weapon straight away. It certainly gives players the option of how to play, but is it any good? Well, for the most part I think it's a lot of fun. It offers up something different and I enjoyed what I played of it. At the start of each round you have a buy menu where you can buy items, and then armor and grenades, they need to be refreshed each round, and you don't get much ammo, although ammo and health kits are dotted around the map. Picking up a health kit allows you to use your health regen. I think that CSGO players and the competitive community for COD will like this game mode. Okay then, back to PC specifics. Call of Duty always has a PC version. It started off as a PC game, but the reason that this particular COD has interested me on PC is because of the real focus Treyarch seem to have put in the PC version of the game. Back in May they released a behind the scenes sort of video talking about how they've really focused on making a version of COD specific for the PC platform, taking into account the specific needs and wants that PC players tend to have. And that's music to my ears. In the video they say how this version is custom built for the PC, the development of which is being supported by Beenox, who've got a long history of PC games development. They promised dedicated servers, uncapped frame rates, HDR support, 4K, as well as widescreen monitor support, and I'm pleased to say that it does indeed have all of that and more. So before we get into how the game plays and how it feels on PC, let's take a look at the options menu to see what we're working with. First up, the gameplay screen. As you would imagine, you can change up your mouse sensitivity, even adjusting the vertical sensitivity if you wanted to, although I'm not sure that you would. As PC gamers, we all know how important it is to have a responsive mouse movement. It has to feel smooth and consistent, and most importantly, you want your mouse to go exactly where you point it and where you feel like you've pointed it. Often, games have built-in mouse acceleration or filtering, and they don't give you the option to get rid of that. Thankfully, in Black Ops 4 on PC, you'll notice that there's an option to turn off both mouse acceleration and mouse filtering. Some players do like to play with mouse acceleration though, believe it or not, so if you want to, you still can. You can also alter your ADS mouse sensitivity too, choosing from relative or legacy options. Relative will dynamically change your sensitivity, while legacy will ensure that your sensitivity when aiming down the sight is the same as hipfire. It's the same kind of thing as universal soldier aiming in BF1. I'd recommend keeping it the same. Moving further down, you can adjust your FOV, something we're pretty used to seeing in games these days. There was a period when PC versions just didn't seem to have it, and you had to adjust it in a config file, but now I think that the developers have learned. You can change it up between 60 and 120. What's more impressive is the option to change your aim down the sight field of view. So when you aim down the sight, you can choose to have your field of view affected or independent so that it's zoomed to its usual value. We are used to having this in Battlefield, but it's great to see it available here too. Other settings in this section include having auto weapon switch on, so if you run out of ammo it will automatically change your weapons, and also the ability to change up how each gadget is operated, if you want it to function when you press the button or when you release the button. This can be set for gadgets on each specialist and for grenades. There's a ton of customization here, which is great. When it comes to key bindings, there's pretty much what you would expect. You can change up your keys between toggle and hold. So if you're the type of player that holds when you aim down the sight, for example, you can do that, or change it to toggle if that's more of your bag. It may seem simple, but often games do forget about that. Now, moving on to some more important stuff, the graphics settings. There's plenty here to change up if you've got a lower spec system, including the display mode itself, which will allow full screen, windowed and borderless, or even extended, which will allow the image to span across multiple screens. You can change up your refresh rate and your resolution, allowing up to 4K as well. Render resolution is something you can change to if you like, which can either super sample your image if you want it to look better, or undersample it if you're having performance problems. Thankfully, there is an option to turn off VSync, get that off straight away, and the ability to uncap your frame rate or set a custom cap if that's what you wanted. And you're free to pick whatever frame cap you wanted, which is pretty impressive. That's usually reserved for config files. There are HDR options here like we mentioned earlier too, if you're rocking an HDR monitor. And when it comes to advanced graphics settings, you've got texture quality, effect quality, texture filtering, model detail, screen space reflection, shadow quality, dynamic shadows, AA, ambient occlusion, motion blur, and even subsurface scattering. But I think what's really great about this menu is not only can you customize all of the graphical settings, it shows you an image that will detail exactly what differences you're going to see by changing them. It's a nice touch, we've seen that in games before, but it really helps the user understand what's going on. User interface, you've got the option of changing up some of the HUD elements. You can turn off hit markers or health bars or allies and enemies, and even add in an FPS, latency and GPU temperature counters on the screen. Again, not something that you usually see in most good PC games, certainly not built into the menus. Very surprising. All of the audio settings you would expect to see are there, but one setting worth pointing out is the voice recording mode. You can set it between voice activated and push to talk. If you choose the former, you can even change up your mic recording threshold. Again, a lovely touch. So what does this all mean in terms of performance? How does it run on my system? Well, as I said, I am using the i9-7980XE, and we've got a 1080 Ti graphics card. I'm running it at 1080p here, 240Hz, unlimited frame rate, and in the beta I've maxed literally everything out that you can think of. It's all maxed, and in the top left you'll see the frame rate in yellow with fraps, and as you can see we're hovering around 150, sometimes even higher FPS. As I go around the corner here, it's hitting the 180s, the 190s, and then I'm getting in a fight here down to like 130, 140, 150, so it's just very smooth. It seems like it's a really well optimized game actually, so I think even on lower end systems it would run really well, but obviously my system is quite high spec, and with that combination of the i9 and the 1080 Ti, unsurprisingly you're going to get great frames per second. So overall, the PC version of Black Ops 4, I am very impressed. The game plays very well on PC, it feels good on the mouse, it looks great, especially in 4K, and it plays fluid. It's just really great to see this level of support in a COD game for the PC platform, including all of the up-to-date features and then some that the PC version needs, and this itself could really help boost the community on PC. I'm wondering, is it because of the Blackout Battle Royale mode? Have they really put time into this? Because if that mode is good and fun, it could be very, very popular on PC. I cannot wait to play the Blackout mode on PC. Hopefully we'll get our hands on that very soon. The standard multiplayer experience itself for me is still more of the same, it's still COD, but that VR mode is really something that I'm looking forward to. And of course we've got zombies when the game releases, always entertaining. I am kind of sad that we're not going to get the single player though, because Black Ops 1 was one of my favourite single player COD games. So it's sad that we're not going to see Treyarch have another crack at that, maybe in the future, but I'm sure they've got their reasons why they didn't do a single player campaign this year. So colour me impressed. I think they've done a great job with this PC port based on the beta. Things are looking good here. For me, it's just really nice in a COD game to get this level of quality and detail and advanced options, because it feels like the PC community for COD over the last few years has just kind of been cast aside, and the ports of the games have been a bit shoddy. The devs said that they were going to pay special attention to it, and yeah, it looks like they were right. They kept their word, and that's an excellent thing in my opinion. And once again, a big thanks to Intel. This was running on a i9 7980XE processor that's got 18 cores, 36 threads, and in the system here, I've overclocked it to 4.2 GHz. So just choose through games, and it really helps me out with rendering videos like these. I can do it super quick. And Intel wanted me to show you guys how quick I could render a video like this. So this is the video that you're watching now before I've added this bit on the end, obviously. And it's going to be around 11 to 12 minutes in total. So what I'm going to do is render it now, skip ahead in time, and then show you guys exactly how long it took. Hey, it's me from the future, or is it me from the past? I don't know. Confusing myself. Time travel is confusing. But as you can see here, we're coming to the end of the render, and in total, for this 1080p 60 fps 30 mbs bitrate video, we're looking at around 6.5 minutes for the total render time, which is obviously quicker than real time, and that's really useful for me as a content creator to be able to put content together that quickly. And that's all for today, folks. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you've played the beta on PC, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you liked the video, give it a like. If you didn't, a dislike. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one.